In the previous video, we looked briefly at the responsibilities of each level of government in the Australian healthcare system. In this video, we're looking at values that underpin each of those levels. There are 7 values that underpin the Australian healthcare system. When we use the term underpin, you can think of the Mockingjay pin from the Hunger Games. If you're not familiar with the Hunger Games, the Mockingjay pin gave support, laid a foundation for action, and stood for something, some kind of shared belief. Whilst the values that underpin the Australian healthcare system are not quite as interesting, and probably don't have the potential of being turned into a massive movie series, they are in some ways similar. They give support, they lay a foundation, and they stand for something. We can remember the 7 values by thinking of CARE SES. Alternatively, you can come up with your own mnemonic device by using those letters, but for me it was always CARE SES. The 7 values that underpin the Australian healthcare system are continuous, accessible, responsive, effective, safe, efficient, and sustainable. Keep in mind too that the study design has changed in recent years. There used to be 2 more values, capable and appropriate, but they are no longer applicable for our purposes. Don't get me wrong, the Australian healthcare system would still aim to be capable and appropriate, but we don't need to know about it for this subject. Now you may need to describe any one of these 7 values, which is why they've been outlined below this video. But you may also need to identify their use in a case study. For example, a question may come up that asks you to identify the underpinning values that have been exemplified in a case study. It is important then to have a solid understanding of each value, and not simply rote learn their definitions. Many of the values are deducible from their names. For example, the regular meaning of safe is not exposed to danger or risk. As a value that underpins the Australian healthcare system, the meaning of safe is something like the reduction of all possible danger and risk in the healthcare system. Effective usually means successful in producing the intended result. As a value that underpins the healthcare system, it means action that achieves the desired result. If you're interested, there are some practice questions below that should test your knowledge on the 7 values. Bye for now, and may the odds be ever in your favour.